All right. Welcome everyone to our May masterclass. I think we're at now a full year of doing these every month, which is really exciting. Trisha, you're muted.
I know, I was yelling at my children.
I just saw the lips moving and I wasn't sure. So yeah, we are at a full year of doing these classes every month. And we've really tried to come up with different kind of timely, relevant topics that we could come together, learn from each other, and just grow together as our essential oils community. And so this month, we're going to be a little bit different because we're actually, the presentation part of this is pretty short. And we want to spend some time hearing from you and sharing stories because stories are so incredibly powerful. So our topic for this month is the AromaTouch technique. And so what we're going to do in just a second is talk through a little bit about the technique, go through the oils that we use in the technique, give you kind of an overview. And then we're going to share some of our experiences, those of us who have either given or received an AromaTouch. We're going to talk about some of our experiences, how that felt to give it or receive it or both, and really learn from those stories.
And it's important to really listen to all the stories, I think, because even if you haven't experienced an AromaTouch or given one, use these stories. Use these stories to share with other people, third party, and to help them see the power of AromaTouch.
Absolutely. So I'm going to just share a screen that talks about the different oils in it. But Trisha, do you want to kind of give an overview of big picture what the AromaTouch technique is about?
Yeah, I love that she's passing it to me when she's actually the trainer of AromaTouch. I am not. I am certified to give it, but she's the big guns there. So AromaTouch was designed by Dr. Hill, and it is, if you've never heard him speak about it, I encourage you to try and find it or get to one of his, because he's so passionate about why he developed it, why he chose the oils in it, why he doesn't stray from the oils in it, that it has to be used with these particular oils, because it supports every single body system. You're going to have support for the lymphatic system, the immune system, musculoskeletal. And so it takes you through supporting each one of those, and the synergistic aroma of the application of the oils is also very significant. It creates its own new aroma with every layer that you put on. And that is also very important. So there are 4 phases of AromaTouch. First, we start with stress management, and this really sets the tone for the whole technique there going forward, because it helps the person relax and settle in to what they're about to receive. So we start with balance and lavender, smelling it on the back, around the ears, to really just help that person get into that mode of, okay, I am ready to receive. And remember, it is an energy exchange. As you are giving, you are also receiving. It's very powerful to give an AromaTouch and give your energy to someone. It's something very special. 2 is the strengthening the immune response. So we're going to use tea tree and on guard. Now, coconut oil is actually not involved in AromaTouch, but a lot of people do use it because of skin sensitivity. So it is meant to be used neat with all the oils, but you can use some coconut oil if the person has some skin sensitivity. And Rachel always drives this home. The touch is light. It is a sensory experience. It is not meant to be any kind of deep tissue massage. That's why the word massage isn't used. It's called the technique. So then we move on to the inflammatory response using AromaTouch, which is great for circulation and the musculoskeletal system, and deep blue. We're applying them to the back in a very, I can't use find the right word, in a very methodical way. Each time they're applied the same way, with some variation with the deep blue up the spine, but ultimately they're all applied the exact same way. And then we get into homeostasis. We're kind of waking the body back up, waking that lymphatic system back up, get everything moving with wild orange and peppermint on the feet and then on the back as well. So these are the oils. Don't raise your hand and say, oh, but I really love Serenity to relax. Can I use that? Or I really love Manuka for me. Nope. These are the oils of AromaTouch. There's a reason that each one was chosen. There's a reason it's applied this way. So let's stick to it. How'd I do?
Love that. You did great. The only thing that I want to just kind of add, and maybe just drive home even more, is in the naming of it, right? Like, let's think about really the words aroma and touch. And so Trisha did a really fabulous job giving us an overview of the aroma piece of it, right? The 8 different oils that we use in this technique. And she kind of hinted at, but I'm going to say more explicitly, that not only are these 8 specific oils that we use, but the manner in which we apply them, the touch technique that we use, is very specific. And it's kind of designed to balance the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. We're working in different energy zones in the body as we apply each oil. And so there's a kind of gentle repetition that becomes very soothing to the person receiving the technique. And that touch piece alone, what's really cool, so this has actually been clinically studied, right? And that touch piece alone was actually shown to have clinical benefits even without the oils. When we add in the oils, those benefits increase. So each piece of this actually on its own creates value for the receiver in terms of supporting these 4 areas. And if you think about it, just about every issue, every ailment, every struggle that somebody can have in their health can kind of be categorized in one of these 4 areas, right? Everything kind of comes back to these systemic constants. So if we can get these things in balance, we really put our body in a position to be able to heal. And that's what AromaTouch is all about. So I'm going to pull this off the screen. And what we'd like to do now is share some stories. At the end, we're going to tell you how you can learn more about the AromaTouch technique and learn how to do it if that is something you're interested in. But before we get to that, we wanted to just really share experiences, because we could talk about the results of the clinical trial and I could tell you about, what it does to different biomarkers and all of that. But let's be honest, those personal stories are so much more powerful than the scientific data sometimes. So I'm going to kick it back to Trisha because I love her AromaTouch story and I think it's so powerful. But as she's talking, I want you all, if you've ever given or received or even observed an AromaTouch, think back to that experience. And if you're open to it, we would love to hear you share with the group. So Trisha, go ahead.
And I know a lot of you have heard me share this story in classes because I share it at every class and I will never get tired of sharing this story because of the power of it. So when my son was 4.5, he had his first febrile seizure. And this was all new to me. And I felt powerless. I had to call 911, do CPR on him. He was turning blue. And it was a crash course in learning about febrile seizures. That night when we brought him home from the hospital, I did not sleep. I just sat watching him vigil, texting Rachel constantly, like, I don't know what to do. And she told me, you need to do AromaTouch. And I was not certified in it yet. I hadn't been to a course. She was just look it up online and teach yourself. So I did. I went to the doTERRA website, like my eyeballs were like this. I hadn't slept. And I just printed it out and I taught myself. It wasn't perfect. I didn't know why. I didn't know the why behind why I was doing it, but I needed to do something because I felt powerless. I felt like there was nothing I could do. And the doctor at the hospital, the second time we went after his second seizure, she actually looked at me and said, stop coming to the hospital. There's nothing you can do for him. He's just going to keep having them. And I wanted to punch her. I know many of you are moms. You can't tell a mom there's nothing you can do for your kid. I needed to get my power back. So although my story isn't about the success of AromaTouch? It is. It's about me regaining my power over doing something, knowing that I'm doing something to support my child. If I couldn't stop him from having a seizure every time he had a fever, then I'll be darned. I'm going to keep him well. I'm going to give him the best supplements. I'm going to do AromaTouch on him weekly. I'm going to make sure his body is supported to stay well. So it was very empowering for me and very soothing for me to know that I was giving my energy. The power of your touch is so healing. You are a healer when you use your hands on someone else. So to give that gift to him every time I do it, I know I'm helping him. So AromaTouch, and then I did go on to get certified because I wanted to learn the why behind it all and feel even better about giving it to other people, because I only learned it just for him. But I gained my power back with AromaTouch. And that's something we all need to have when it comes to our health and wellness, is gaining our power back. So that's what AromaTouch did for me.
Yeah.
I love it. What an amazing story. Anybody else want to share? Maybe you have never given one, but you've received an AromaTouch, or maybe you've given and received. But we would love to hear your experience. I know some of you have given AromaTouches.
Tanya was coming on.
So I have done the AromaTouch hand technique, and I have received it. And so one of the things that Trisha kind of alluded to, as well as you, Rachel, is just the power of touch, right? Like being connected to someone else through the oils has been really powerful. So I've done the AromaTouch technique a couple of times. I've done it actually in the last week a couple of times at work with some folks, and they were really excited just about like how relaxing it was. And it was they picked an oil. One person picked wild orange and the other picked cheer, and just really kind of like the aroma kind of relaxes or kind of brings joy, right? Because wild orange brings joy to almost everyone. And just being able to touch someone and in a way that's calm and is not like aggressive, and like our world is already kind of as charged as it is, to just be calm and be still in the moment. It didn't take a lot of time, and it was nice to give something that was not crazy, but being able to really, one of my coworkers was like, I need to do this like twice a day with you. And I was like, well, I don't know if we have that much time to do it, because we're in the office and stuff like that. But we took a few minutes and we were able to do that. So I just wanted to share that. And, I've observed it. I observed it a couple of weeks ago when there was a demonstration, and I was like, wow, this is really powerful. Like you could see like how important touch is for people, especially, given all the things that we've gone through in the last couple of years where touch is less available than it has been in the past.
And I had the honor of coming to your house, Tanya, and doing a full AromaTouch on you when you were in need.
Oh, yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I now I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about the living room that you bought
I brought my massage table.
Yeah. When I dislocated my shoulder. Yep. So.
And that's what we do with this gift.
Right.
When you learn AromaTouch, it is a gift that is meant to be shared, and you share it when people are in need. Mm-hmm. And it's an amazing gift to have.
Yeah. And Trisha and I were talking just earlier. Today was a tough day. Yesterday was a tough day. There's a lot of heartbreak happening in the world right now. A lot of people who are scared, angry, frustrated, dealing with grief, all sorts of emotions, right? And I think we can all agree that there's things that need to be done, and they should be done in the long term. But in the short term, in the right now, that AromaTouch hand technique that Tanya mentioned is a really great way to pause, whether it's with your children, with the spouse, with the coworker, and just take a moment.
Teachers at your school,
whatever. Yeah, just to take a moment to connect and be together and release some of that anxiety and some of that fear. And, does it solve the problem? No, of course it doesn't. Right. And we can't pretend that, but it does give us that opportunity to connect and to rebalance ourselves a little bit so that we can face the day.
It's as much for you as it is for them. And the AromaTouch full technique is amazing. The AromaTouch hand technique is a tool every single one of us has to have in our pocket. We have a gift and it needs to be shared, period. And when we feel helpless, having that, when you get essential oils, sometimes you get overwhelmed. Like, I don't know what to do with them every day. Knowing AromaTouch gives you that protocol, right? It gives you that, I know what to do. I know what oils to use. I know what to do. And you get it done for your family, for a loved one, for a friend, whoever needs it. So it is such a gift to have. And God, share it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it over. Anybody else have any good stories? Judy, I see you on mute.
Yeah, I do. Just a couple of things. I learned AromaTouch. Can you see me and hear me? Got to make sure. Okay. I'm cooking in the middle of, can't tell. So clear back when Dr. Hill taught it the very first time in St. George, Utah, I actually went to his class and learned it 10 years ago or however long. And I wouldn't say that I got a lot of AromaTouch treatments, but I certainly gave a lot. And I would say two things. One is it's a really great thing to use with your children. If you, I have 5. And they all went through teenage years. You guys are much younger than me, but I'm telling you, they're not that pleasant of teenagers. And it's really a great tool because nobody says no, right? They can be in the worst mood, didn't get invited to the prom, whatever the emotional turmoil is of the moment. And by the way, I don't know the people on the call, but you don't have to have, I know Tricia said she had a massage table. Use your dining room table, use a twin bed, use the floor. Like, you don't have to have anything fancy. You just use whatever you have. My daughters all played college sports, so we just would do it in the dorm room on the floor. You can do it anywhere. Then also, I have a customer that I took with me to Dr. Hill's event when he was teaching it. And she's not a builder. She's not whatever we talk about. But she loved the hand. We did the hand technique at his training. And so she learned it. And he gave us a little card. You can, if you didn't go there, you can still get it offline, any old wear, and print it out. And then she was really proactive about it because she felt something. And I think it's exactly what we just said. Like, she hasn't been touched probably for a long time. And she realized there were a lot of people that haven't been touched for a long time. So she went to a nearby nursing home type facility that she lives by, and she volunteered herself. She goes every single Thursday. And you guys, it would make you cry. These people have not been touched. And one of the ladies said she hadn't felt her hands for years. And she could feel her hands. So, like, you're making such a difference, even though she's not making money, she's spending money, right? I give her oils, I give her stuff, because she doesn't really have the money even for oils, but she's giving of her time. And she started out thinking, oh, I'll just go a couple of hours on Thursdays. She can't get out. People line up for hours and will wait for her. She'll be there 6 and 8 hours, even the employees, like everyone loves it. Everyone needs touch. Everyone.
That's an amazing story, Judy. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly what we needed to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. I've given lots and lots of AromaTouch techniques over the years. But one of the most powerful ones I did was for somebody who's now a friend, but at the time I didn't know her very well. Our children went to preschool together, and she had been diagnosed with breast cancer. And so she went in and had a double mastectomy. And a lot of the moms were putting together just kind of a gift basket for her. And, they wanted to contribute things like wine and sweets. And I was like, she's healing from major surgery. I don't really want to give her alcohol and sugar. Like, that's not what her body needs right now. So I was like the weird one that was like, I think I'm going to do something else. So I actually made her some roller bottles to just help support her emotionally with everything that she was dealing with. And she reached out and thanked me and, wow, this is so sweet. And we chatted and I offered to give her an AromaTouch. And I didn't know her that well, right? But I went over to her house and she was still recovering from surgery. So she couldn't lie down on a massage table. She couldn't have that kind of pressure on the front of her body, right? So we built this like pillow fortress on her floor. We used like pillows from her bed and the couch. And I don't even know, was like up in this woman's bedroom, right? That like was the second time I'd ever been to her house. But we built this whole thing that she could lie in and be supported. And I was like on my hands and knees to give her an AromaTouch. And it was just such this powerful moment of connection, right? It was just such a profound experience to be a part of somebody's healing journey in that way. And it connected us in a way. She's now moved to Arizona, so I haven't seen her in a while, but we stayed in touch for a long time and built a friendship that it really emerged out of that experience. So like Judy kind of said, right? Like we have such powerful gifts to give, and we should never hesitate to offer what we have to the people around us, because they don't know how much they need it, but they do.
Stranger.
Yeah, even a stranger.
I have
Absolutely.
one more quick story.
Maybe don't go into their bedroom if it's really a total stranger. We're not advocating that, but you could do a hand technique maybe for a total stranger.
I have one more quick story, and it's a third party story because it's from like somebody else told me. And it's from another AromaTouch training. And Rachel knows this story as I start to say it. A woman was receiving an AromaTouch. So in the training course that we used to do, you used to get one, give one, like, and really was hands-on. She apparently was a police officer. And in the middle of her AromaTouch, after it was completed, she got up and ran out of the room and sobbing. And the instructor was like, what happened? Like, what, was everything okay? She came back in and she said, I'm a police officer. And that released so many emotions and trauma. I could feel it moving, that like every police officer needs to have an AromaTouch all the time. She was like emphatic about it. And when you think about the emotional things that can be released from your body building trauma, and AromaTouch is helping every body system, it's very powerful. So that story always sticks in my mind. But let's talk about how you can get it.
Yes. Okay, so I will bring the screen share back and click over to the next slide. And so up here, we just have a quick little graphic. And part of why we wanted to talk about AromaTouch now, AromaTouch isn't new. Dr. Hill developed it like, 12 years ago at this point, 13 years ago. But up until this very recently, in order to learn AromaTouch, you had to go to an in-person event. And even with a few hundred trainers around the country, there was still only like, I don't remember the number, like 2% or something of the whole doTERRA community that had been exposed to the AromaTouch technique. And hopefully after the past 25 minutes or so, you understand why we need that number to be much, much higher. This has nothing to do with a doTERRA business, making money. It's not about that, right? It's about having this tool in your home, in your community, to be able to help other people to heal. And so Dr. Hill, after much convincing, finally kind of changed his approach, and there is now an online training program. So whether you are brand new to doTERRA or you already have an account, you can get this kit, which includes all of the oils that you need for the AromaTouch technique, as well as the entire online training course, which on its own would cost $97. So you get all 8 oils plus the training for only $250. Okay. Just for perspective, when we used to do the in-person one, it was $150, but you got 5 ml bottles. So it was 1/3 the amount of oil. Okay. This is 15 ml bottles, including Deep Blue, you guys. Deep Blue does not come 15 ml ever anywhere, right? But all of these in 15 ml bottles. So 3 times as much oil, right? For only $100 more than what we used to charge for the in-person training. So it's a really good deal.
You have these for AromaTouch, but obviously there's a million other uses for all of these oils that you're going to be using. Or when you're helping someone else, when they want to have this powerful tool in their house, like help them see, like, yes, these oils are for the AromaTouch technique, but I'm going to help you with how to use them in everyday life.
Absolutely. So if you have not yet, I really, really encourage you to take that online course, learn the AromaTouch technique. It only takes about 6.5 hours to go through the whole thing, and you don't have to do it all at once. You can spread it out, do a half an hour here, 20 minutes there, whatever it is. But it will enable you to give an amazing gift to the people around you. And that is
great. The training's really, really well done.
Yeah.
So but I can speak for both of us. In Pennsylvania and in New York, our homes are open all the time. If you need one, just ask. And we all do. But like Rachel came over to my house one day because I was going through something stressful, and she gave me one. Like, you need to use your gift and heal others. Like, that's what we all have. And whether you're just, brand new or been here a while, like, we have to use this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can I just say one thing? Beautiful
Yes.
presentation, ladies. And you segued right into it, Trisha. I was going to say, I'm a Reiki master healer, and I use the AromaTouch with my Reiki master healing capabilities. And I totally suggest anyone who has any kind of healing modality to add the AromaTouch into what you're already doing, to even kick anything you're doing already up a notch. It's amazing the experiences I've had with friends, with people that Rachel has sent to my house for AromaTouch, and even with my clients. It's an incredible gift. We've also gone to nursing homes. I could go on and on, but this was absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks, Elena.
You're welcome.
And thank you all for being here. We promised you we would take 30 minutes, and we are at the 30-minute mark, so we won't take any more of your time. But we're just so grateful for all of you for, taking a little bit of time out of your day to learn more about the AromaTouch. And I hope that we have inspired you to go and take that online course and go out and give to whomever you can, because it's all of us doing this together that's really going to help the world to heal.
Those of you that are in our oil power community, share it there too. Tell others what you did. It's a little bit of a brag zone. Tell people that you gave an AromaTouch to someone. Like, share that and help them see how powerful a gift it is to give.
Absolutely. All right, guys, have a good night.